All right, so let's see what this Negro Robert Pereira was talking about. He said some things I wanted to respond to.
People around. That's how he ended up at the Dollar General. He started shooting at cars and then barricaded himself inside of the Dollar General, killing 3 people before ultimately killing himself. Imagine what would have happened if he could have made it onto campus. Imagine what would have happened and the number of people that would have died. Him with an AR and a Glock in his hand and a death wish, wearing a bulletproof vest. We talk a lot about being prepared, about self-defense, and more so about the concept of everyday carry on this show often. This is the clarion call. It is time for those of you who do carry and do exercise your Second Amendment rights in the black community. We have to start upgrading what we are carrying. A 9mm with hollow points is fine for the threat that existed 10 years ago. But what we saw in Buffalo, what we saw in Uvalde, what we saw in Jacksonville, are that now, because of the proliferation of cheap level 2 body armor, more and more of these shooters are armored up prior to committing these actions. At this point in time, if you're carrying anything less than a 5.7 by 28, that is your kind of your miniature rifle round, as it would be a miniature AR round. The AR is a 5.56 by 39, and they now have pistols that shoot the 5.7 by 28. That needs to be your new standard carry weapon to confront the modern threats against us. And if you are carrying a 5.7, you need to be carrying green tips, both in the magazine and in your spare magazine. Because if you are confronted, as we saw in Buffalo, with somebody wearing body armor, remember in that situation, the security guard tried to engage him. However, the person had a ballistic helmet on and well as body armor. So if you're shooting somebody from hollow point Glock, you might knock the wind out of them. You might be, if you have maybe a 10mm or a 45, you might be able to at least neutralize them or slow them down, but you're not going to be able to penetrate level 2 body armor with it. This is where your 5.7 by 28 comes in. They have new models from Rock Island and from Palmetto State Armory that will run you $300-400. These aren't $1,500 guns like they were a few years ago. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, join the National African American Gun Association, join the Bass Reeves Gun Club, get in touch with your local black Second Amendment.
All right, so you heard Robert Perillo, Niggerrat. I call him that because he's being hyperbolic and over the top, typical black Democrat in a political space. But he's pro 2A on his own channel in his own conversations. But when he's sitting on Roland Martin's couch, he's definitely playing that liberal narrative. But anyways, I wanted to respond because I wanted to see what the people think about this. He basically summed up what he said. He thinks that black folks need to start carrying 5.7, the round. That's very expensive and a very weak bullet. We'll get to that. He's saying that black people should carry that specifically because of the two, I say two situations that happened. The mass shooter in Buffalo had armor and a helmet, and now the Jacksonville shooter had level 2 body armor. I don't know if he had a helmet. I think he did in that video too. But his argument was that the typical carry person is not going to be able to penetrate that armor based on two situations. I don't know. I think it's being hyperbolic. I think it's being silly. He's not being practical. Rock Island doesn't make 5.7. Rock PSA makes one. It's like 5 companies now, if I'm not mistaken. Smith & Wesson may have a 5.7 now. Not sure, but I know FN obviously, and Ruger has one. And the last one to come to the party was the PSA Rock. And he probably mixed them up because he said Rock Island. They make the cheap ass 5.7s. I mean, they make the cheap ass 1911s. But no, I don't think what he said is practical. Myself personally, because 9 times out of 10, you're gonna need that 9mm for Pookie and Ray Ray and them before you need that 7.62 for them Tiki Torch boys. The chances of you walking into a situation like that are far, far less. If you are a black people person and you are a gun owner and you're gonna use your gun to protect yourself and your persons and your family, and your property, why are you messaging me now? Most 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be for somebody who look like you, and they're not gonna have body armor. So, do you switch up your whole situation, buy expensive ass bullets, buy a gun that is all those guns are full size guns, by the way, and they don't have the power to stop a person who doesn't have 90 bar. That shit is weak. Not 5.7 has a purpose, and everyday carry is not that purpose. Now, look, I not saying the conversation that he's having isn't a thought that didn't happen in my mind, because it's like, what, I carry 10 mil, just like he said. I carry 10 mil too, but I'm recalibrating that. Like, where do I carry the 10 mil? If I'm going to a movie theater that's small and close spaces, I probably shouldn't carry that. I should carry the 9 in there, because that bullets is going through everything. But it's more, 10 mils made more for outdoors, and I got the 29, but I know most people will use the 20 if they're going hunting or going hiking and they run up on a bear. But I got what I got. Um, but yeah, I don't think what he said is even practical. The ammo is expensive as shit, for one. The gun may be cheap, but the ammo is not. And if I'm not mistaken, he said the green tips. I'm not sure. I didn't research it before this video, but if I'm not mistaken, the ammo that you need to penetrate the level 2 body armor, uh, it's not for civilians. And I know every state has different laws too around having certain ammunition. Like Jersey, you can't have. I think you can't have full metal jackets in Jersey or whatever. You gotta have defense ammo. I don't, whatever. Even though the armor guard dude got in trouble for that, but his job has him carry FMJs, but on your personal, you can't use that. So I don't know. I just think that we have to stop being silly and hyperbolic like this and over the top. You're not going to switch up your whole situation for a gun that is probably a better option for a lot of first time shooters because it has such low recoil. It's so smooth as butter. You're going to stay on target. But shout out to HG Hustle. He just did a video with his, I think he got the FN and he was shooting it, and he had the blue tips though, but it was barely even moving the metal plate. Like, it wouldn't even turn it. Like, it wouldn't even move it at all. There was no pressure. That shit hit so soft. And if you read one of the comments over here, Savon says 5.728 has a plus that can penetrate body armor, but it lacks the ability to transfer a lot of energy to an unarmored people. It's also costs more than a 9 mil, and that will cause people not to train with it as often. Thank you for pushing for the people to protect themselves. So that was a common sense conversation. Obviously, he says, well, we need something. No, you gotta be practical. Um, it's still expensive, right? For if we're talking about black people switching up their whole situation for this gun, should you have it in your arsenal? Should you have it in your class? I want one. That was gonna be my next pistol because I got the 9s, I got a 10, and I want a 5.7. But I started rethinking that. I was gonna build the actual 5.7 AR because I was getting frustrated building my 7.62 AR with all the things you gotta do to make it right and make it come out perfect with no issues. I did that and I love it so far. Going back to the range again this week with it for the second round to see if I have any issues. But for a minute there I thought, but I'm like, the whole point of me getting 7.62 is I wanted this to be my training rifle. I wanted this to be my everyday shooter. I wanted this to be, when I learn how to shoot, learn how to deal with that recoil, because the recoil is strong, but it's not like the AK. It on the AK is a little bit stronger, but just I want to experience it more, right? And the ammo, as much as the ammo has gone up, double the price. I know when I bought the AK back before the pandemic, or during the pandemic in 2020, I was getting a box of 20 Wolf, I think for $4, $5 a round a box, and then it went to 7, like right in the middle of the pandemic. Now it's like 14, 15, over double the price. So it's still cheaper than buying 5.56, 7.62. I mean 5.56 or 2.23 for now. Eventually it's going to change, but I bought that rifle because I wanted something that I could shoot cheap, and that had the stopping power, and that I can go to the range with and make it my training rifle. That's why I picked that round. So picking a 5.7 wouldn't have been practical. Even if I get the 5.7 Rock, which is the only one I probably would get the Ruger. I probably would get the Ruger, but my goal right now is to probably get the PSA Rock, what he was talking about. But like, I'm not gonna shoot with that a lot. I know I'm not. And the funny thing is, since I've got my 10 mil, I've actually been training with that more, and I've been shooting better with that than the 9 between the 7 to 10 yards. I've been shooting better with the 10 mil. I can actually control it. It's a 29, so it's a shorter barrel. People say it's gonna be snappy, but it's really not for me. I don't know the way my hand size are, or whatever. I control it better, but I've been shooting that a little bit better than I've been shooting my 19X. But that's probably because I've been using it a lot more, and I carry it now, and I've been training with it more because I've been carrying it. But anyway, that's my video. Do you think, Robert, is practical? Do you think that, realistically speaking, black folks, if they have an encounter, it's not going to be a Tiki Twitch white dude. It's going to be Pookie Ray Ray them depending on where you live at. But it's gonna be a person with a shotgun or a handgun, or they probably gonna have a 22, and that's gonna be the situation. It's not realistic to completely change over your whole arsenal or your whole everyday carry to carry a gun. Again, it's full size gun. It's too damn big. It's 20 bullets in the gun, so you do got, if you should be able to get something off in that situation. But then if you live in an unfree state like New York, California, Massachusetts, Connecticut, blah blah blah, Jersey, others that limit your ability to have a regular standard size mag, you gotta deal with that too. Because do they even make those? I know the Ruger does come in 10, because I saw one that came in 10. But does the Rock come in 10 rounds? I'm sure it should. They should recognize that there are some states that are not free, and they should help us out. But anyways, I think Robert is being all cap. It doesn't make any sense. Let's see what this says. Oh no, he talks about the entire clip of it. Thank you, Rob, for sharing. See, all the people are congratulating him, saying cool, and people are saying the same thing, that the price can be up there. And if you're talking about black people who don't have a lot of money, disposable income to train as it is, to carry as it is, while these Democrats making these laws to make it more difficult, the white lady on The View who's racist said the moment the black folks get guns, the gun laws are going to change. And as much as that sounds crazy, she's correct, because damn near every Democratic city done changed some type of law since the pandemic, because the number one gun owner purchaser have been black people, black women in particular. And look at that. All the Democrats are changing the laws, making it harder for y'all to get guns. But yeah, 5.7 should be in your arsenal, should be in your situation. I think so, just because it's a fun bullet to shoot. It's a low recoil gun. It's good to train with. But it doesn't have the stopping power to chance, I'm going to the hood today and I'm about to be in a bad side of town pumping gas. Do I need to carry my 5.7 or do I need to carry my 9mm to deal with? Like, 9 times out of 10, what do you think is going to happen, right? I don't like that we overemphasize. Like, how could you say this knowing damn well summer's almost over, but you know damn well every weekend and every major city in this country, black people are gonna go out and they're gonna get shot. Some innocent bystanders, some people who are involved, some people, the old dude who was served 2 terms, 2 tours in Vietnam, who all messed up, just sit on his porch chilling, gonna get hit by that straight bullet from some pookie who can't shoot. Like, that's the reality. And to have the energy he has for the white supremacists and not for, yes, the Republicans are ass and they're not doing what they're supposed to do or addressing it the proper way. I get that. But for us, and this happens to us in our communities, to be not honest about the reality of what we're going to deal with when carrying guns and carrying concealed, I think that's cap. And that's why I call him a nigger crack. I'm out.